Hey folks, it's Granville. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hey, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about technique. Haven't really talked that much about technique on my channel. I'm not really much of a technique monster. You know, there's people out there who do this stuff really well. I mean, Guthrie Govan and people like that you just go, you see the technique and you go, you know. I work on my technique to be able to play the music that I need to play, and that's about it. It's not like technique for the sake of technique. But nonetheless, I've been on this quest lately, and a few people have. I've noticed Martin Miller doing a similar thing, right? You guys, if you don't know who Martin Miller is, you should go and check him out. And I've seen John Cordy talk about similar stuff too, and various guitar players. But one that particularly struck with me was Justin Ostrander. Is that how you say his surname? Nashville-based studio guitar player. That's what I do. I'm a session guitar player. You can probably see back there, but there's a whole heap of guitars here, pedals, amps, all this kind of junk around my place. That's what I do. I do studio work for people. I do a bit of teaching. I do a whole heap of gigs, theatre shows, play with orchestras, all kinds of stuff. So for me, it's like I pay attention to the people doing similar stuff to what I do in different parts of the world, right? Like in London, there's Adam Goldsmith, fantastic guitar player over there, someone whose career I've been following for a long time. Justin in Nashville and Tom Bukovac and people like that. Tim Pierce in Los Angeles, of course. Anyway, but Justin was talking about this technique thing that he'd been doing with in relation to an AC/DC song. And it was Thunderstruck. And I went, man, I remember learning that when I was about 15 years old, and I hadn't played it since. And I think I'd probably even played it wrong. So I kind of thought, I wonder what happens if I play Thunderstruck every day and just see what happens. I've been showing it to a few students when I've had people come around, they want to know about technique. And I've noticed a couple of things out of it. I thought I'd share them with you today. So the first thing I've noticed is it's way easier if you have a harder pick. So I've kind of gone to these, the Dunlop Jazz 3, but the Ultex ones. I really like them. I like the shape of the Jazz 3s. I've been using these for ages, right? They're really good. But I don't like the material. This nylon-y stuff just doesn't have enough attack. And they wear funny, you know what I mean? The Ultex doesn't wear in the same kind of way. So the first thing I noticed was the pick. And I noticed by just playing that riff every day, right? Right, and then... Right, it's way faster than it is, but of course you've got all the other cool guitar parts in that song too, right? And not to mention what a badass Malcolm Young is, right? All that chicken picking type stuff that he almost does, you know, not chicken picking, hybrid picking. But just by doing that, I've found that like there's a thing about it, right? Like the riff's not that hard to play, but try and play it for virtually the whole song, and you start to find that it becomes a stamina thing with technique. Because technique is one thing, right? Like it's like if you have like a bit of facility, right? You could probably play Thunderstruck, but can you play it for the whole song and not get tired, right? Because what happens is a lot of people tense, right? In this hand, they kind of go like this instead of just keeping it nice and loose. So for me, I've been working on keeping this right hand really loose. Also, a lot of people play from the elbow. It's this kind of picking. It's not what you want. You want more from the wrist, right? And I find just what I found is by bending my wrist a little bit. I'll show you. By just kind of, if you have your arm straight like that, what your tendency is going to be elbow based. But if you just put a little bend in it, it's more likely to be this, right? And one thing that helps, try this as an exercise, right? Take any note and just tremolo pick it as fast as you can. I probably should turn the delays off this, but I'm not going to. But just tremolo pick it as fast as you can. And what you'll find is that angle that it feels right for your wrist and your hand and your pick, right? Because you don't want your pick straight. You want your pick slightly angled so it glides. And when you find the right angle, right? So when you find the right angle, it's kind of like it's all just there, right? And you want to find the point where the pick just glides across the string. And that's something I've been doing, and I've been thinking about a lot, and I don't have the answer for all of this stuff. Mostly because I've been watching all kinds of players, and everybody does it differently, right? Like, so you can't kind of go, you have to do it this way, because that doesn't work out, right? Do you keep your fingers open or closed, right? I thought you'd have to have your hand closed like that, right? But actually, to be honest, I find it way more comfortable if my fingers are slightly open. Now, I'm not talking about resting your hand on here. You don't want this, right? That's bad, right? That's anchoring your hand. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just having your hand open so it's kind of loose. And it sort of feels like it balances your hand. And that's a real rhythm guitar thing too. If you check out Corey Wong, he does that with his hand, and Rob Harrison, some great players like that, the real badass rhythm guys, you know, and they're great lead players too. But the badass rhythm guys, see, that feels more comfortable than that does for that sort of stuff. But the same thing with picking. And then I was watching Troy Grady, right? You know, the Cracking the Code series. If you haven't seen any of those, go and check them out. And that dude has his hand open a little bit. And I was like, well, he's had that little camera thing here and checked out how everybody's doing their picking. So he must be doing it that way deliberately, right? So I've been working on all that stuff, and I've been doing it every day. And if you just play through Thunderstruck once per day, you've done 5 minutes of technique work, right? Because that song's about 5 minutes long. Now, the riff doesn't actually go for the whole song, right? Like in the guitar solo part, it goes to... Right? It's just sort of a part like that, right? So, and the riff drops away because he's breaking into the solo. But for the most part of the song, I'd say 90% of it, it's all that riff, right? So it has the intro riff. I'll show you. It's pretty quick. So I'm at the 4th fret. Right, 4 and 7, and then 5 and 8. Now, it's very tempting to do them all as pull-offs because it's how I used to do it. Right, like this hand not been used. It's the wrong sound. It's definitely picked, even though in the video you'll see that it looks like it's not. Right, and the next bit is... So it's the kind of riff where like most people could learn it pretty quickly if you've got some facility. Now, it's not a beginner kind of thing. If you're a beginner, you shouldn't even be bothering with that, right? You'd be doing something that's within your level. But if you're anybody who can kind of play already a bit, then it's not going to be that difficult, right, for you. So that's what I'd urge you to do, right? Like learn that song up. Try playing it every day and see what happens. I've noticed that my facility has gotten better. I can play faster and cleaner. Not that I always want to, but it's nice to have that there. Things that I might have struggled with before and now I'm finding easier. Doesn't mean I can play anything. I've never once said that's my goal. My goals are far bigger than technique, because technique's an interesting thing, isn't it? It's really just about doing the reps. You do the reps, you get the result. And that's why you see these young musicians, 9-year-olds and that play violin or piano, that little kids that just get phenomenal, and you just go, wow. But it's always the technique, right? Because they do the reps, they get the result. But the bigger goals in music take much longer. You can't do that quickly. Things like how you phrase, how you articulate, how you express yourself through music. Those sort of things take time. How you improvise, right? But technique, do the reps, get the result. Give it a go. Let me know how you get on. Drop me a comment below. Have you got any technique exercises you could share with everyone else? What do you do? I used to do this one all the time. All right, and I still do sometimes all that those sort of things. I make up a lot of exercises for myself, but that Thunderstruck thing, doing that every day, and I've got my 5 minutes of core technique practice done every day. Please like and subscribe. I'll catch you soon. Cheers.